They walked away from blood, history, tradition, because your love made them feel alive for the first time. They lost a family but found a future, and that future breathes in your name. They chose truth over loyalty, love over lineage. You were the holy rebellion. They left a dinner table that never heard them, to sit in silence with you and be seen. Their family called it betrayal. They called it resurrection. You were the whisper that shattered their legacy, and they followed it into the unknown. They gave up everything they were told to be, just to be yours. They didn't leave lightly. They left broken, and still chose you with every fragment. You didn't just feel right. You felt like the reason they were born. They lost their last name, their mother's smile, but they gained your heartbeat. They walked out on Sunday dinner to walk into something divine. No one understood, but they didn't need them to. They had your name like prophecy. Their family tried to break them. You were the glue that held them together. They chose exile just to feel your presence in peace. They burned the bridge to their past because your love made them brave. They left the house that raised them to become someone worthy of your arms. They gave up inheritance for intimacy. Because you couldn't be bought, you had to be chosen. They had to unlearn generations just to touch you honestly. They weren't disloyal. They were finally loyal to their soul. Their hands were trembling when they left, but their soul was still. Your name cost them a family portrait, but it bought them peace. They were raised in silence, but your love made them sing. They weren't running from. They were running toward you. You're not the reason they left. You're the reason they finally lived. They didn't leave their family. They left the lies their family lived in. Their mother wept, but they smiled through the tears because they saw you waiting. You weren't the scandal. You were the salvation. They don't speak to their father, but they pray to God about you. The door slammed behind them, but in your arms, every echo became a hymn. They were disowned, but they've never felt more chosen. They traded tradition for truth, and truth looked like your eyes. Their past couldn't hold them, not when their future looked like you. They didn't leave family. They walked toward love, and you were waiting barefoot at the gate. They gave up being understood for the chance to be fully loved. They were called lost, but they were always on their way to you. Even their sister begged them to stay, but your name kept thundering in their chest. They let go of their childhood to hold your hand. They loved them, but they chose you, and that choice was holy. They knew they'd be alone, but you made alone feel like destiny. They weren't escaping. They were finally arriving. They left a surname behind to write one with you. This love broke the cycle. That's why it hurt. You weren't just a person. You were their exit, their freedom, their beginning. They gave up family dinners for late-night walks with you and never looked back. They walked into war for you. Love made them fearless. They left with nothing but your name and a promise. You were the only thing they were ever sure of. Everyone called it rebellion, but heaven called it return. You were worth every slammed door, every goodbye, every silence they now carry. They chose your love over their bloodline. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Comment your favorite quote and subscribe for more.